Go for it.
3, 2, 1. Yes, you got it, everybody. Brody Stevens, back here again, recording another top-notch sports lifestyle 47-year-old male living in a North Hollywood apartment podcast. We are here right now. Now, that's not, I see it, a thing. Is that just for levels? I see the Zoom. We're on the road, folks. We're seeing different technology. I see it. It's a Zoom mic. This is if you have a podcast, the law is you have to buy a Zoom microphone. They're available at the Guitar Center, and it doesn't say that it's recording. Are we recording on it? Now we're recording. Was that on at all, the other stuff?
No. It's fine. It's just a backup.
Oh, it's just a backup. See, we're all backup. I focused on the backup generator because I am in that mode where I'm saving up food. I am looking to go into a bunker. So everything's got a backup. That backup has a backup. You think this Zoom mic is the backup? I have a backup Zoom that goes into my phone. And if that doesn't work, I will take my old iPhone and record the Zoom. It just keeps going. It's infinity. You keep pushing, and you go to the different levels. And not everybody sees it, and that's why it's called trailblazing. They don't get it. They'll turn on you. Brody, where are you going? I go, trust my instincts. I get it. I went to school in Arizona. Not afraid to go into the mountains. You know, everyone thinks the desert is just, cactus and tumbleweed. You can go into the hills. And, people talk about, L.A., an hour to the desert, an hour to the snow, an hour to the beach, an hour to this. Same thing in Arizona. You can go to Salt River. That's 45 minutes away. I can go down the tube drinking beer on a tube. I can go to Flagstaff, go skiing. I'm sure there's snow up there. I can go deep into the Grand Canyon. You have options here in Arizona, and they want to keep it quiet. They go, oh, you're in the middle of nowhere. I'm sick of rattlesnakes. I saw a guy here yesterday. He's a prominent member of the Los Angeles comedy community, and he's never spent time here in Arizona. He goes, I don't like the desert. And I go, how dare you? Is that Al Madrigal?
That is Al Madrigal.
Ladies and gentlemen, one of the top players. I'm a possible CEO. He's got labels and initials next to his name. He's a guy who has always been a supporter. He's a big sports guy. I believe his wife is a Atlanta Braves fan. She's Yankees now? Yeah. Was she at one point a Braves fan?
No, that was Sarah Tiana, maybe.
Sarah Tiana, and were you married to Sarah Tiana at one point?
Married to Sarah. No, she's Sarah Tiana is my daughter's godmother, though.
There you go, Al Madrigal, godmother, religious, not afraid to mention God. That's what living in Pasadena does for you. You will mention God. Look at Al, the hair, the goatee, the teeth, the hat. I see Al probably not enough, 5 to 6 months maybe.
I stopped doing stand-up at night. I was just exhausted.
You stopped because you have kids.
I have kids that are getting older, so...
So you made a choice, Al Madrigal, to stop doing stand-up at the Comedy Store at night? I mean, you can hop on the mic. These are called podcasts. Al, I'm glad you're here. They sent you here. This is an emergency booking. This guy is saving the network. You don't see Tim Cook from Apple. You don't see Bill Gates come in and fiddle with the Microsoft, their hardware and all that stuff. But this guy is here, Al Madrigal.
So, yeah, I see my kids growing up. They're 15 and 11, and now they're going to bed later. And it's just, I see time-wise that it's just all going, all my time with them is going away. So I'm just trying to be present as a father.
Are you doing like afternoon gigs? Is there
there's no daytime, lunchtime, brunch comedy. No, there's no matinee that I can get a hold of. So
don't you think they should do something like that?
That'd be great. Actually, people who don't want to go out, maybe that's something we could explore. Some sort of daytime gig where people just don't. Like just once in a while, once a month, to do a 5 p.m. show inside, create like an atmosphere where people just, it's the early bird special for people who
You're
really
saying
don't.
5. I was saying like 12 to 1, like
12
lunch.
to 1
That's too early.
Lunch stand-up.
Like, in between dropping the kids off. I mean, you have to be a parent. These are the laws for these shows.
I just, I'm watching, what I got to see is I get to see parents with older kids. I mean, Oscar Morales is one of them. You just see how quickly time goes by. And so I'll have them out of the house in no time, and then I'll get right back to it.
Is that so? You're waiting for like in year when the kid, the 11-year-old.
I'll still do it, and I do it on the road. But yeah, I'm just being away every single night. You just sort of watch. I spent so many years on the road doing stand-up. That's how I made a living from, I think it's like 2003 to 2000, right before I got the Daily Show, so 2010.
Mm-hmm.
I was on the road that entire time with
Right.
little kids, so I was gone constantly, and I missed a lot of the first moments. I missed a lot of, baseball games. I missed a lot of basketball games. I missed all the dad stuff that people who work regular 9-to-5s, sort of take for granted. So I just watched them growing up so fast. It was just very boring. But anyway, I'm not.
No,
I
but
don't-
that's what the baseball players say that they miss these guys. They retire from baseball in their early to mid 30s, and a lot of them say that they want to spend time with their families. They didn't get an opportunity.
Yeah,
to
you
do that.
realize after 9 years of doing stand up on the road that you missed somebody's entire childhood. Yeah, so.
Does it make it better through FaceTime and all that stuff?
Yeah.
Did you watch your childbirth through live streaming?
No, you couldn't do any of that. But my wife was cool as shit. So when I got Montreal to Just for Laughs New Faces, which is like the NBA sort of draft of stand-up comics, my son was supposed to be born on the same, that was the due date, right when I got New Faces.
Uh-huh.
And she's like, hey, you got to go. So she was going to be cool with me missing my son's birth.
Are some of these comedy wives, are they, they're get hard on the husband, like, hey, you got to be here.
No. Well, you got to get your comedy wife before you get it. There's a trick to that.
Yeah.
Actually, you want to. It's too late for you because somebody's going to attach themselves to Brody Stevens and they're going to catch you. Now you've gotten all this success, and so maybe they won't love you for who you really are. But when you meet, yeah.
But that's who I. This is who I. Yeah, I know what you're saying. This is who I am right now.
So, with stand-up, you want to be established as a stand-up, but not successful. Maybe
That's me.
No, you're super successful. What are you talking about?
Well, I mean, in non-union cable credits.
Sure.
I mean, where's the network money? Al, where's the Netflix money? Where's the Crackle? Is Crackle still around?
Yeah, I think they just had a Seinfeld thing, and that was it.
Yeah, they did, right? And now, where's he now?
What I'm saying is, like, there's this sort of sweet spot for somebody who you're established as a stand-up comic. They know it's your dream. They know you have to do this. They know it's what you do, what they signed up for.
Yeah.
And they're part of it at the same time. And then you also don't want somebody who, I think it's like a midlife crisis. If somebody decides that they want to become a stand-up after they're already in this established relationship, then that's not going to work. So it's
not going to work stand-up wise or relationship.
It's going to be a relationship. You're going to have a wife going, "What the fuck are you doing? Why are you going out every night? What about me?" And you're just like, I think when you look like you're like sort of fleeing the relationship at that point. So
Yeah.
it's tricky. But my wife and I know I talked to other comics about this, is that when you have a stand-up wife, when we're around too much, they sort of want you gone. Like they like you leaving every once in a while.
Yeah.
So it is, absence makes the heart grow fonder, and there is a good balance to doing stand-up on the road and taking off. So but I feel like a family, if I didn't have a family, I would definitely be dead.
You would? From partying and
my
going all over the
God,
place?
I'd go big. Yeah, sure.
So they keep you
Yeah,
grounded.
no, I don't want to.
You're responsible for them.
I do try to. I'm trying to set a good example over there. I can't.
See,
be
I don't
caught
have.
on the
I don't.
internet.
I don't. I'm like, I don't have too many. I'm not married, obviously, and I wasn't. But I feel that when I do comedy, if a girl sees me do comedy, at least she's seen me that way.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas, like, if she meets me at
Outside of
yeah, like at Starbucks
Sure.
or the grocery store in the frozen food section, and then she talks to me, and half the time they don't think I'm funny anyway because I'm kind of shy actually in public. I'm not big. I don't walk into Starbucks. Yes, I'll take a Trenta. You got it. I'm very quiet. So then when they see that I mention comedy, oh, you're fine. I can't see that. But then if they see my comedy or they see my live streaming or they're fans of the podcast, it kind of like just gets them, they're up to speed. And then what they are seeing on stage is an extension of me, maybe is the real me. I've come out of my shell.
Now, I haven't talked to you about this at all. What is your dating life like? And do you?
I was intimate 2 weeks ago. That was cool. The last time I made love was in Denver.
What were the circumstances? Do you mind discussing it?
The lovemaking,
Just
or
how did you meet this individual? Like,
The last two-
walk us through the whole thing.
Oh,
I
the
think
whole thing.
as a Brody fan, I want to know how you met, or where did she know you're a stand-up? She approaches you.
Well, comedy's popular these
Sure.
days, and it's probably a good idea. The Comedy Store is, there's, I don't know if Chris D'Elia's bringing in all these chicks, but
Probably.
comedy is the new rock and roll.
Sure. So there's a Brody fan that finds you. She's well aware of who you are, and are you?
I mean, look at my crowd.
Yeah, I see it.
It's 50-50. I got half guys, half women.
So the crowd is, if just to describe what we've got here, just an equal amount of women to men in the audience.
Yes, we do, and I do have female fans. I've noticed that, and they, if they're in relationships, that's one thing. But some that I do have, I'm probably going to end up with like a divorced woman with a child, and I'm going to come in, and I'm going to be that stepfather.
Baseball mitt right away.
Yeah, and I play baseball because I understand. I know how to throw a baseball. I know how to catch a baseball, and that's how I judge comedians. Oh, you're this way on stage? Here, I have a glove in my trunk of my car. Let's play catch in the Comedy Store parking lot, and let's see how you throw the ball. And then they go, oh, look how I throw. Let me see how you catch it. That's another thing. You could tell, everyone talks about how they throw, but if you throw a ball and they're moving out of the way, or they're doing that with the glove, you're afraid of the baseball.
Do you snap it?
No.
No.
I don't think many players, maybe the middle infielders, they'll snap it because they're always like working on the tag. But as a pitcher, I'm very methodical.
Got it. 4
seams to the chest, catch. And I learned that from my friend who's a Major League Baseball coach with the Cubs. And you went to Wrigley Field, right?
That's right. I went with Dimitri Martin, Kristen Shaw on Brody. Completely set us up. And
I set you guys up with the tickets.
So get back to the Denver girl.
Oh, we're back to that. Okay. Well, that was, to be honest, the last couple women have been based out of comedy. I've kind of dipped into that, comedy. I'm not saying comedy fan, but.
No, it's great. I don't like approaching women. I can't. When I was starting, I had been doing comedy for about a year prior to meeting my wife, and I was not some guy who could walk up to a girl in a bar and start making conversation without feeling creepy about it. So
By yourself or with?
Yeah, no, Vince Vaughn from Swingers. I'm not able to be super charming in a nightclub situation. So
Did you ever have a wingman with you? I mean, that's what it's.
Yeah,
break
I was
the ice.
Very good with the groups, being properly introduced and getting a chance to talk to somebody. Great, but trying to have a conversation in a loud bar, never.
I was never into that.
No.
That's the one thing I talk about. You drive by these clubs on the Strip or just bars or whatever, and you go, I'm too old. I was never into it.
Mm-hmm. Not possible.
I was never into it, and I like hanging out at the comedy clubs or like the new bars. Like, I'd rather hang out at the comedy club than go to a bar. I know people want to go to bars and party, but you got to be able to hear. We're comedians. We don't want to scream and yell. But yes, to be honest with you, I do have, because I'm real. They're seeing a real guy for the most part, especially through my live streaming and my podcasts, because you're getting the real, even though I'm a little amped right now. So a lot of people feel like, oh, it's my comedy act. I feel like maybe my life is an act and my comedy is real. Oh my gosh, that's a quote.
Yep, write it down. So
so back to that girl. I think it's just confidence, and if she's I'm not like a crazy guy. I mean, I got to be careful. What am I, Weinstein? Are you trying to put my back, get me in trouble, Al?
There's a lot of. I just saw a bunch of sexual harassment stuff come out with comics. Did you see this?
Are you serious?
Oh my God!
Give me some names. If it's public knowledge.
I don't know how.
Well, everyone knows that there's a couple that they know for sure, right?
Yeah, true.
Are there new guys coming out? Or new gals?
A couple new guys, not gals. And then, there's this, always a skeevy comedy guy who's a producer, Rick Nahara. Yeah, Rick Nahara. He was a guy who was just sort of this bottom feeder Latino comedian wrangler that wormed his way into CBS diversity showcases.
Oh, he just got into trouble.
Yeah.
I saw that. Okay.
So he got properly kicked off.
Oh, I sent that guy my demo tape, so I'm not going to hear back.
No, you're not going to hear back.
I was trying to get into CBS diversity as a older non-bar mitzvah Jewish guy. Jewish Gemini. I was born Jewish, raised Gemini.
So I'm just saying, with you, though, it's a lot of women are approaching you, and it's great.
Yes, I like that. And as I mentioned, I think because they see the Periscope, they see the stand-up, they hear the podcasting, and they're seeing real stuff. And that's why I think that you're not there as much. I can give you the.
It's how I met my wife,
night.
though. I met my wife at a show. She was in the audience. She was a friend. Do you remember Brian Jarvis?
I remember the name.
So Brian Jarvis is a friend of her from work, and she came out to see stand-up. I saw her in the audience. I inquired, and she said she didn't want anything to do with the stand-up comic. She was actually working at a school for homeless children. So I went to go sort of, stop by and court her, and really sort of wore her down and got her out on a couple of dates and married a year and a half later.
You want to date? Was this in the Bay Area or
San
in LA?
Francisco. Yeah.
Where'd you guys go? Red Robin?
What's that? No, it's Red Robin.
I worked at Red Robin. So I
I've
always
been to
mention
Red Robin plenty of times. Yeah, they had one in Burlingame. I think that's where I used to go to Red Robin.
I worked at the original Red Robin in Seattle,
shit.
Washington.
Really?
That's where it started. Seattle started Costco,
Starbucks, of course.
Microsoft, Starbucks,
Red Robin.
Red Robin, Amazon. Seattle was, for me, was a great comedy town. I went up there, and that's where I learned to public speak. I sold T-shirts for the Seattle Supersonics. We're talking about coming out of our shell.
I think it's one of my first gigs was in Pioneer Square at that Comedy Underground, the
Great
John
club.
Fox gig. So barely paid.
Yeah.
I think I might have opened for Swartzen very, very early on.
It's possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Comedy Underground in Seattle, that was the spot, one of the great spots in comedy. We're up there. Joey Diaz was up there. Josh Wolf was up there. Mitch Hedberg for a time. Craig Gass, myself. And Seattle was kind of like that, like AAA for San Francisco.
Now that I'm just such a big San Francisco 49er fan. I hate the Seahawks so much that I can't bear to go back. I hate everything about that team, and so it's sort of ruined Seattle for me.
What do you think about? So you're a Niners fan,
Yeah,
obviously.
big,
What do you
big.
think about that? Do you think they lost it by moving down to Santa Clara to that Levi Stadium?
I just don't think there was any other choice because the city was so fickle with, it having the stadium be 100% privately funded, and just it was the neighborhood that Candlestick was so horrible. It was one of the worst neighborhoods in San Francisco. It was called Double Rock. So you just had crime-ridden projects surrounding that area, and here we have an amusement park, it's sunny, and
Tear down the apartments.
yeah, kick all the people out.
Well, I flew into San Francisco, or just like not seeing Candlestick Park out there is weird. And there's so much.
But it was a total shithole. And for anybody who went there on a regular basis, it was a big dump. It was one of the oldest stadiums in the NFL. There was just violence everywhere. I went to a Raider and 49er game. It was a preseason game where two guys got shot. I was escorting my dad out because Raiders fans are all savages. And the Niner fans are really no better. And so I saw a big Samoan guy smashing a guy's head against a fucking sink.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, so I walked
I heard
my
about
dad
that.
out. Yeah, and they said they couldn't have those two teams play each other.
Right,
It was
I
like
remember.
basically two rival gangs meeting in the Bay Area is what it came down to. And when the 49ers are doing shitty, everybody sells their seats. And so maybe I think last year the Cowboy game that I went to was one of the worst sports experiences I've ever had in my entire life. So when your team sucks, like we do now, the opposing fans get to come in, and when they did that in Candlestick, it was just a gang fight.
It was. So, I mean,
So anyway, the Candlestick was a big dump, and I'm happy to see it
but
go.
couldn't they? But what I'm saying is, they went down to Santa Clara. It's like you're taking that aura, that magic that happened. Joe Montana to Dwight Clark. Did the players not like playing at Candlestick? I bet you they They didn't care. I mean, they probably like the facilities, but you're only playing 8 home games. It's not. I'm not saying the Giants should have stayed there. They're good with where they moved. I'm saying, I think San Francisco, and I'm a LA guy, but I think they lost it by moving. Just like kind of the Yankees, they didn't have to redo the new Yankee Stadium.
The problem with San Francisco is the real estate is that there's just not much of it. So there's not many places to go, and there's a whole Navy shipyard that where they were out in that sort of Double Rock area, but there just weren't many places for them to go, and there's a lot of it's fucking landfill, and so structurally, I just think it was difficult.
Environmentally,
it's. And I think where you were going down, they have the new Warriors arena.
They're building. Yeah, they're there.
But if you walk down through that neighborhood, you'll see it's all said the foundations of all the buildings are cracked and separated from the sidewalk. It's all sinking. It's a problem. So I'm just not sure. I don't know about how feasible it was for them to build such a large facility. You know, you take 20,000 seats and you get a basketball stadium, that's one thing, but to put 72,000 people or whatever a football stadium is and put it downtown, I think that would be pretty tough.
Well, the downtown football stadium, I don't know. There's talk, they're talking about putting the in LA the stadium downtown.
Yeah, where the Staples is, right, and where it was all the conventions.
Yeah,
and they couldn't make that work.
I think that I thought it would have been kind of cool to put the NFL stadium.
For sure.
The Farmers Field is what they wanted to do downtown, but.
Now, World Series, what do you think is going to happen?
So we're right now in the middle of the World Series. It's Game 4 is coming up today. It's Dodgers are down 2-1. Astros lead the series 2-1, best out of 7. It's a must-win for the Dodgers. I feel like today is the must-win because if they lose, they're down 3-1. Now you're in Houston, Game 5, and they bring it down there. They're into it.
They haven't lost at home, right?
They haven't lost. That stadium's loud. They have the roof. That left field is weird. That's the one thing I don't like about that ballpark down in Houston, that Minute Maid, is that left field is like 315 feet. It's kind of a joke, meaning like you can just hit a fly ball to left and it's gone. And I feel that kind of takes the game. It's a little weird for me. And then I also, it's a good series. I'm not taking away.
You're obviously a big Dodger fan, but who do you root for when the Cubs play the Dodgers?
It's hard. It's very hard. I'm torn because my friend who I grew up with, my Little League Baseball childhood, he's, a professional Major League Baseball coach, and he's with the Cubs, and he's been there now for 5 or 6 years, and I get access. I'm privy to inside information. They let me suit up. But, I grew up in L.A. My heart is with the Dodgers. My friend tomorrow, it's not going to happen, or next year could go, say, work for the Baltimore Orioles. I would support the Orioles, but – and it's hard when the Cubs play the Dodgers. In fact, I don't even go to the game. I don't try. I don't want to be around because even when they play in a regular season game, if I talk to some of the Dodger guys, oh, what are you doing over there? They'll like – and the same thing with the Dodgers. If I talk to the Cubs, oh, Brody, you're a front runner. And I know they're goofing, they're pushing buttons because they do like me. But I am a little uncomfortable with it, to be honest with you. But I also – I could get a job in baseball. I like to be, agents work with all different players and different teams.
Correct.
And then there's mental skills guys. And that's kind of what I'd like to get into is the mental approach, the positive energy, the unlicensed therapist guy. You can go talk to me like, you're having a problem with that teammate. Brody, how would you handle it? Well, I played baseball. You got to take the high road. You got to be, it's so much mental. And that's the other thing. You see these, Justin Turner, for example, with the Dodgers, who's on fire, with the red beard and all that. He went to Cal State Fullerton, and that's where he learned about positive energy, visualization. In fact, the guy who taught him visualization, Ken Revisa, is now with the Cubs. So if you study Justin Turner, he learned about basic mental preparation from Ken Revisa, who's with the Cubs, who was with me at Arizona State. So it's all.
I was going to say you're home. You're almost home. Being back in Arizona, so you're very close to where you went to played baseball.
Yes.
But I have to tell you this in terms of the positive energy. My buddy is a PhD, and that's what he specialized in.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So he specialized in the sports psychology. And when I first started doing stand-up comedy, he was just finishing getting that degree, and he was telling me just about visualizing success with stand-up and walking out on the stage and imagining the end result. And so just you could use it with everything, right? I mean, do you find that?
It's basic. Well, I handle, because I played baseball 5 years, team sports all through. And then when I started doing, I would say audience warm-up, is when I was able to take those principles I learned in baseball, the visualization. And then because I was with a sports show, Best Damn Sports Show, so I would have football teams and baseball teams, all the high schools, all the community college, and I was able to just provide. I put some of that energy out, and I saw that it affected the show, and they liked it. The coaches liked when I got on the players, like sitting up, finding the funny, and when they were into it, the show rocked. It was tight, but when they were like slouching, lights would go out, they'd mess up on the teleprompter. So I really learned it, and I saw the results of the positive energy, and then it just started picking up. But I got it from college because I hated running. I knew, like, my freshman year, it'd be like, oh, we got to run a time mile, and it would just, like, ruin my day. And then the second year, I said, okay, I got to start being positive. And we learned about visualization, about positive affirmations. You can never say to somebody, don't strike out. When you played baseball at Arizona State or college baseball, when you're a pitcher, you have to be on that front rail in the game, talking, pushing, ragging a little bit of the other team. So we was always in, and we would joke about how we could be positive with numbers, words, all of that stuff. And we saw results, and my running got better. And then when I played sports, when I did the warm-up, then I saw all these guys going off to do stuff because I was
So you think there's not only something to you being positive, but other people being positive about you. So there's sort of a crowd mentality. If a good large portion of the people, the audience that we have here, just believe strongly in sending you positive vibes, it's going to be a better podcast. You're going to feed off of it, obviously.
Well, at first it's energy. So even if it's negative energy, you're putting out energy, and then we tweak it to being positive. And I'm saying, like, I also learned about it when I moved up to Seattle. So when I was done with college, I took an acting class, a comedy class at UCLA. Then I went up to Seattle. I met Tana, my friend. I don't know if you know Tana Manu. He was a Samoan guy. He lived down here in Phoenix also, but lived in Seattle. He was Samoan. He was Mormon. So he didn't curse, and he was very happy. See, remember, I played in the sports world. I was around, conservative, Aryan, white, anti-Semitic almost. And I just dealt with it, that's just how it was. So I learned not complaining, actually. When I played at ASU, it's like freshmen are to be seen, not heard. So if they're anti-Semitic, you have to take it. No, but that's kind of what I did, and I felt like they're trying to, like, push my buttons, weed me out, and I was going like, I'm a nice guy. 3 months ago in high school, everyone liked me. It's popular. Now I come here and I'm a weirdo. That's not on me. That's on you guys. So I just kind of waited that out, and I applied that also to comedy. But what I learned with Tana was just like being happy. But like, let the other guys win.
On
let
baseball
the
teams
audience
that
know.
you've been on, you've been extremely well liked, because in the comedy community, I just think very well liked. Of course, right?
Too nice. People take advantage.
You think so?
I'm too nice. I've always been a nice guy. Growing up in the Valley, I was nice, and I saw that, like, people would kind of make fun of me for being nice. It didn't feel good to be. I remember they pick on me for smiling. This is growing up in Tarzana, in an apartment building, divorced parents, kids riding bikes. This is in the 70s. And I got picked on. But you know what? Doing comedy, for me, once I found out, it just made it all worth it. Same thing with this baseball, getting picked on, or, they weren't malicious, but once I took a acting class and was around supportive, it was like, this is great. But if I was always in that supportive environment growing up, if my mom put me in acting classes or whatever, I think I would have had more of a, I don't know, it wouldn't be such a discovery for me. Because I never did comedy. I never, in college, I went to Arizona State, Tempe. I never set foot in the Tempe Improv. I was so focused on getting everything I could out of baseball and then graduating.
But you were a comedy fan the entire time? Not even
Not really. I mean, growing up, I liked Benny Hill. I liked wrestling. I was into baseball. I could tell you everything about stats, stadiums. I was aware of comedy. And then in college, we liked Andrew Dice Clay. But I think my mind, maybe the way I was, because I have adult onset Asperger's, the way my mind worked, it was like maybe on the, the spectrum, the autism spectrum cable. I like to say spectrum cable. But, yeah, so that's why I'm probably good at warm-up. I was so good at 3,000 warm-ups, and I didn't forget, but like my stand-up suffered somewhat. Same thing with this baseball. Yeah, I have full access with the Cubs. I can go wherever I want. I get to suit up. Now, am I getting paid? No, not really. Am I making friendships and all that? Am I known as a baseball guy? Yeah, because I went all out for it. But maybe somebody who's like a little more mature or older, they go, you know what? I have responsibilities. Maybe you could have channeled it into a nicer. So what I'm saying is,
do you know Gar Rhinus, who does the
he's the batting practice guy. He's from the Bay. Are you friends with him?
Yeah, I'm really good friends with him. We're a big warrior. Hey,
we got Sam Tripoli in here. We've
Court
got
McCown is
Sean
rolling by. Look at that. Hey, what's
Al
happening? How are
Madrigal.
you?
This is a party, folks. We are talking sports. We are talking lifestyle, growing up. We talked base. Keep going, Al.
Positive energy. We're talking about just sort of origin stories a little bit. We're talking about relationships. Do you know that Brody is doing quite well for himself socially in Denver?
Yeah, Mile High, things. I get chicks once in a while. I'm confident. I have posture. I take apple cider vinegar. That's the one they get. See that I get a reaction?
Sure.
Who here takes apple cider vinegar? Show of hands.
We have it.
I take it. You don't take it?
I've taken it, but I don't take it.
You drink it?
I drink
get
it.
a little shot of it.
I put apple cider vinegar in my Trenta right here.
Whoa.
No, I'm joking. But I take 3 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar, mix it with some juice. Oh, Sam's got to take a call in the middle of my apple cider vinegar bit. This could help you.
What other vitamins are you on? I think you talk about this at length, but what else are you taking? What like in terms of a regimen?
Okay.
Talk to us all about this because you seem like a great person to consult.
Okay, thank you. Yes, my regimen is in the morning right now. I take 2 branch chain amino acids, BCAA, because amino acids are the building blocks of the body. So I take branch chain amino acids, some glutamine in the morning just to help with the blood sugar, and then I take a scoop of reds, a scoop of greens, another scoop of protein, and colon cleanse. Shake it up with water. So how do you get all your greens every day? Can you do 5 servings of greens?
No, not at all. This is what I'm asking.
That's why you need a scoop of Miracle Greens. $50. I have a promo code. Also, Miracle Reds. Can you eat 5 servings of beets and reds and all that? You can't.
Physically, no, it's impossible.
But what I'm saying is, when I take that, I feel it. I feel it in my hands, my nails, my skin. These things, you do feel it. And then also, I take L-arginine. And I'm only saying this stuff because when I go on stage, people say, oh, Brody, you're in shape. You look good.
Is this something you could post somewhere? Because I also I know people can write this down and rewind and listen to it off the podcast. But it would be nice to have a list and also the time of day and just sort of a regular sort of schedule, maybe some links.
I would, a JPEG.
Yeah.
I'll post a JPEG. But I think it works because I'm not sick, knock on wood. I haven't. People constantly comment on it. So I think it's posture, it's stretching, it's visualizing. That's the other thing. You want to talk about visualize? I visualize that I'm in good shape. I haven't done cardio for probably 7 months. I haven't touched a kettlebell for 7 months. But I take L-arginine, which is a precursor for nitric oxide. Now, why do I take nitric oxide? Because I have heart disease in my family. My mother, quadruple bypass. Father, 2 double bypasses. Uncles, stents. It's in my.
No,
it's
we have.
happening.
I'm half Mexican, half Sicilian. Everybody has heart disease. It's rampant.
Exactly, we're predisposed. But L-arginine opens up your veins. It helps with blood flow. How do you get your vein? I didn't take it this morning, and you could tell you can't see them. If I took L-arginine, I'd have a pump in my arm. So I take L-arginine.
But it's got to be expensive, though. All this.
It's
stuff.
cheap. It's $7.99 at Vitamin Shoppe. In fact, Sam's podcast partner Ryan has an in at Vitamin Shoppe. I can go to Vitamin Shoppe and get Ryan's promo code and save some money.
Wow.
I'm only going on these supplements because I think they work. I started taking calcium, Bone Up by Jarrow. They're an Israeli, they're popular. They're an Israeli brand. They're based in LA. I take the calcium. I used to have my teeth would be loose. I started taking the calcium. My teeth are strong. No cavities. Here's the other thing. I brush my teeth probably once a day, sometimes 2. No cavities. And I'm saying I can tell I'm getting cavities at night.
Now, how about the libido when you are with these
I don't have
Denver
any.
women?
I mean, I can get. I was really proud of myself. I'm not going to say names, but I was really rocking it the other night.
A lot of compliments.
Well, yeah, confidence, passion.
Compliments. I was.
Oh, compliments. Yeah, compliments, passion. Squeezing. We have a Sam Tripoli question.
What kind of talk do you talk in the bedroom?
Yeah, is there dirty talk?
Brody seduction talk, with the ladies?
Are you chatty? in
We
the
play
sex?
back my set from the night. So I'll put that on. I go, check out this. You like
The question was,
I'll give you a
if you
punchline.
couldn't hear that, it was there dirty talk. Are you actively
Not really.
talking?
I mean, I remember this last one. I whispered a little bit.
Oh, like what? Like the yin yang twins, kind of like.
No, you feel good. I like being with you.
Oh, it's so great.
Would you like to go to?
Like, you talk kind of like the little messages on the heart candy you get on Valentine's.
Yeah, exactly. Light and polite.
Yeah,
I mean, what do I want to get? I want to
I really respect that.
I want to get. It's too much. I'm a big guy. But you can read it. You can read it. I play off people, but I was happy with myself because I still got it. Was I sore the next day? Yes. For 2 or 3 days, but now I'm back. I'm feeling good.
Hold on.
Well, yeah. Go ahead, Sam.
Sore for 2
Yes.
days.
Like, what were you doing to make you sore?
I was it was like a UFC thing almost. I was trying to
Really?
I was trying to pin her. Is that wrong? See, I'm getting out of
Your talk
control.
is gentle, but your sex is violent. Is that what it is?
Passionate. Violent? What are you trying to get me in trouble? Who am I, a producer for a diversity showcase?
Is she a repeat customer? Was there follow-up?
There was a text. And then look, Sam Tripoli. Sam, we're playing Houston in December?
Yeah.
What club?
The secret group.
Who's headlining?
You want to headline it, dude?
You got it.
You got it.
I just made an extra $1,000 off that because I took a chance. So, yes. But honestly, I probably wasted a lot of money on supplements, but I do feel
But now you've found the right recipe. You found the right sort of dosages for all of these things.
Well, I take BioSil, which is good for hair, skin, and nails. My nails are strong. I mean, they're a little. I didn't take it today, so what I'm saying is,
You notice from day to day.
yeah, if you take I'll give you a BioSil tablet. You take BioSil, and I would say maybe 90 minutes, less than 90 minutes, you start feeling your nails. You take BioSil. We have an audience member here. We have a lady in the audience. Biotin. BioSil's a step up. Biotin's basic. That's for the general population.
Sure.
BioSil, that stuff, hair. Look how dark my hair is. Look how thick my beard is. That's from BioSil. And I'm not getting cavities. So, and then I take MSM. That's another one, which is sulfur. That's connective tissue. That is detoxification. And the reason why I say this because we're comedians, and our body is our tool. It's our temple, and I feel that I got to go for it.
But and in terms of like, can I ask about?
Ask me all the questions.
Bowel movements.
Solid. That's another thing. Now you're saying, well, Brody, you take these supplements, you must be a health freak. I eat not well, meaning that after the Comedy Store, after I have a
Go to Mel's with the guys.
no, I go to McDonald's, I go to
wow.
Wendy's, I go to Burger King, I go to Del Taco.
Wendy's just put me down. I've been in Atlanta working on a movie,
Yeah.
and I went got sick of the catering. Went to a Wendy's.
And got sick.
When they told me, you're an idiot because you went to a Wendy's with the old sign. And it says a lot about an owner who won't pony up for the new logo and the new materials. Right?
And what happened? You got sick?
Went down. Dave Single.
Are you serious?
3 days. Just
So you got food poisoning.
food poisoning. 3 days.
I've had food poisoning on 2 occasions. Embassy Suites, Super Bowl week, Jacksonville, Eagles versus Patriots. I was there. I had food poisoning. I missed a gig. I never missed gigs. Best damn sports show. Who filled in for me? Ken Ober. Remember Ken Ober?
Wow, of course, yeah.
The late Ken Ober, host
Sure.
of Remote Control, because I had food poisoning. Embassy Suites. They took me to the hospital. I had an IV right there in Jacksonville. Then I had food poisoning maybe a year ago. Jack in the Box, Laurel Canyon. I had a sourdough burger. They didn't cook it enough. Ate it. Sat in my stomach. Got sick. Had to cancel a main room spot. And Adam Egget, had to talk. Yeah, so I got food poisoning.
Wow, it's rough.
But
So you don't eat well, but you take all these supplements and it balances everything
apple cider
out.
vinegar. Let me explain, Al, and you're a good guy. Apple cider vinegar, what it does, it doesn't allow for food, say Wendy's or Burger King, to bind to your fat. Like it doesn't allow for it to bind and become something. So I've lost inches. People constantly say, I went from 36.32 to 34.30.
Wow.
Without exercising. So there's something to it.
Sure.
But you need to What's that? Yeah, I got shorter. Sean Conroy, everybody, New York Knicks fan, one of the hosts of the Long Shot podcasts. I've known Sean Conroy for over 20 years. Sean, do you take supplements? No. And are you happier? Yeah. All right. I do what the baseball guys do. See, in my mind, I'm still playing. I'm still a baseball player. Here's the other thing. My hamstrings hurt, and that's from not exercising. So I need to exercise. But I do what the baseball guys do. I still feel that I could pitch. Satchel Paige pitched when he was 59.
So is
I'm
any
40.
of this stuff going to show up on a test? If you were taking all of these things and being drug tested, are you going to have a problem with the NFL? Are you going to have a problem with the NBA?
I possibly could. But you know what? What do you think about the NFL with all this stuff going on? I don't want to get political, but what do you think about? Because you're a big football guy.
Sure.
And we went on the Oddball tour and we did some football stuff.
Correct.
What do you think about this? The CTE. I was going to say CTA Chicago. What do you think about the Chicago Transit Authority in football? And obviously these protestings, and then even had recently
The owner of the Texans. Is
the
that what it is?
Oilers. The Texans.
Owner of the Houston Texans, I'm not sure if you heard, said in these meetings that they had with players, so they had, I think it was Anquan Bolden. Somebody was, first of all, I forget which owner was calling him Antoine the entire time. So
Oh, he
that
was?
yeah. And then the owner of the Texans just had to apologize because he said, since when are we letting the inmates run the prison?
Bad choice of words.
Yes.
He should have said detainees.
Yes, right.
Is what he should have said. No, you can't say. I don't know what he was thinking right
No,
there.
it's like, yeah, what it was. It's, when are we letting the slaves run the plantation? He can't. No,
That's
not
essentially what he said.
Yeah, pretty much. So the problem is that you have these rich white owners. I told you I got to do that gig. I got to roast the NFL owners before the Super Bowl 50.
You
we
did?
talk about this? Yeah. So it was me. I looked out, and it was just the owners, and they can't relate to anything. So what do you they say to an owner? It's like, oh, hey, don't you guys hate when your chef gets in a fight with your pilot?
Yeah.
Where they can't relate to anything.
Gotcha.
So I was trying to just to sprinkle some roast jokes, and they were very sensitive. Jerry Jones heckled me at one point.
He did?
Yeah, I got Jerry Jones is here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Don't do it.
He said don't do it right out of the gate?
Don't even think about it, buddy. Don't do it, because he thought I was probably going to go right to strippers. Like, first of all, I submitted all my jokes to the 49er president, and he's like, oh, that's great. You can't do it. You can't do it. You can't do it. And it was a rough gig.
How much time
I did about 20-25. And the lineup was Jeremy Renner, me.
Great comedian.
Yes, Jeremy Renner, me, Steve Miller Band. And my first joke, I went out and I said, how about the dinner, huh, folks? The French Laundry. Wasn't that amazing? If anyone wants an extra plate, Marvin Lewis didn't finish his. Man, that guy can't finish anything, huh? And one person just went, whoa.
Tough. So
rough gig. Now, so these people, these guys who are catered to constantly, these guys who have their own little ecosystems of yes men who are just basically saying anything and everything to appease them at all times. I mean, they're all billionaires. Even the ones that, whose grandfathers won the team in a poker game, they're all billionaires because the teams have so much value.
Right.
So they have people just catering to them nonstop. They're all big Trump supporters, or they're just, for the most part, the Republicans because, they're voting with their pocketbooks. There's huge implications if the wrong candidate gets into office and starts passing tax law that's unfriendly to them.
Yeah, now they get tax breaks, right?
Exactly. So they're getting a ridiculous amount of tax breaks, and they know all of this better than anyone. But they also have to align themselves, and I don't understand why the national anthem is part of any sporting event at all. It's not. We don't sing it before a comedy show. There's no national anthem before a concert. It doesn't make any sense.
Lee Greenwood.
It doesn't make any sense that it's before a sporting event. I think it all came about because I think the armed forces were trying to recruit and use it as a recruit. I'm trying to remember what the origin of the national anthem being sung at these events is.
Right.
I think it was a recruiting tool for a while, but it just doesn't make any fucking sense. And I don't think that these players are disrespecting the flag at all, and I don't think they're disrespecting any of the servicemen that are risking their lives, or soldiers that are out and for the sake of freedom in our country. But if we're truly going to be free, it just doesn't matter. They should be able to do whatever the fuck they want.
I'm not into it.
You don't like the kneeling?
No, I don't watch. I'm out.
Really? You're out?
Don't like it. Yeah. I think because they're doing it, it's a big FU. That's the way I feel. I'm not saying don't protest. Wear a T-shirt walking in. Protest after the game. When you protest during the national anthem, and they are doing it as an FU to the flag. Look at the NFL. The NFL wants to be its own government. Look at the NFL shield, the emblem. I get it. You're doing, by the anthem, you're doing a big FU. To me, so I'm offended. They could say like other people aren't. Me personally.
But what do you think about the anthem shouldn't even be?
I like it. Then what about God Bless America? Take me out to the ball game. I feel like these are to bring, you have a group of anywhere from, let's say even a high school game, 500 to, I'm getting all worked up, 500 to 1,000 people, or whatever it is. I feel like when you're singing, it doesn't have to be the anthem. It could be something else. I feel it's a good time to bring people together.
A community and binds people together. That's
yes,
good.
And it doesn't have to be the anthem. It could be a state anthem. It could be God Bless America.
Each city should have its own song, which would be incredible.
But what about the Pledge of Allegiance? What did you think about that in classrooms? Do you think that was good or bad?
No, I don't. I'm sorry. I'm not. I've never been into it at all.
See, I have. But that's just me. But that's the sports guy.
I remember being very little thinking, this is fucking ridiculous.
Not me.
Yeah.
When you play baseball.
I was always the guy reluctantly taking off my hat, looking around with my hand over my.
I'd always take it
Going,
off.
What the fuck?
But that's what I was taught at baseball. Like Major League Baseball, you better be out there. Joe Torre, I learned this from Joe Torre. He won't leave the dugout until that, like if it's a military guy, he's there until they leave the field. You know, there's little things that I learned from going to all these games. I saw how it mattered.
But I feel the same way about religion. I don't need to go to church to be religious either. I don't need
You don't have to.
be this. It doesn't need to be ceremony about it for me. I respect the flag. I completely do. I respect all of the people that have fought to protect it.
That's part of it.
Yeah,
That's only part of it.
sure. And I respect what this country stands for. However, I mean, how we got here and how, you know, if you look at people's history of the United States and how we sort of ran people out and how we took it, didn't come about in the best way. And what's done is done. But still, I mean, there's a lot of things that have been done
I didn't
in
do
the name
it.
of this flag that
Not me.
we
I'm
can't
a good
stand
guy.
behind. Sure.
I'm Jewish. Like I said, I got anti-Semitic jokes, big nose, gay. Okay, I pray for you because I'm a good person. And you're like, oh, you're a good person. It means you're not a good person. Well, I am a good person, and I'm a sinner. So I don't.
So when you have
I don't like. It's an FU to me.
So when
but
you have
you can do that,
Anquan-
and I cannot watch football. And
Anquan
there
Bolden
you go.
at these meetings talking about how his brother was shot.
Whose brother?
Anquan Bolden?
What was he doing?
He shot innocently?
I don't. What was he doing? I want to know. Then I'll go with it.
So, there have been, I mean, 16, 17 other black men, and no, just all the cops are.
How many
completely
black
acquitted?
guys shoot white guys? I'm just saying. Let's call it. I got to.
Sure.
I just look at stats. I look at stats. I look at behaviors.
Yeah, I
So I'm
feel
racist.
like
No, I'm
they're
kidding.
well within their right to do whatever they want.
This is good podcasting.
Yeah.
And I know that I'm just saying. I played baseball. I'm around baseball. I like it, and this is how baseball players.
So I'm
Most.
a big proponent of everybody do whatever they want, though. I don't
Jeffrey
care.
Dahmer ate people.
I don't care.
Not into
about- No, there's where I draw the line.
I don't like it when I go to Starbucks and guys are playing dice on the table. I mean, I deal with it because I'm at Starbucks. I made that choice. I don't like it, but I could easily leave.
Tell the kids, try hard and be nice. I don't care about anything that falls outside of that, and that's it. I don't give a shit about anything else. I don't care if you're trans, if you want to be a woman, if you're gay.
Yeah, you could be
Maybe.
gay. You could be a woman. I'm saying me personally.
You could kneel.
I'm
you
not-
Could lay
I'm not
down,
into
you
the-
could- yeah, I don't give a shit.
But I think it causes divisiveness. I think, like LeBron James, for example, he said, the president, you're a bum or whatever after
Yeah.
all that stuff. He could have said, you know what? Can I have a meeting? You know, they want to meet with the owners, all the players. Why doesn't LeBron James go, I want to meet with the president? He could have. Why? Then why are they meeting? Then why are the NFL players meeting with the owners? There's no point then. They're Republican. They're all Trump guys. See, you're getting emotional. By saying that LeBron James could have said, President Trump, I've got some issues. I'd
Sean,
like to go and meet with
can we
you
swap
guys.
out because I have to go to do something across the street.
Al Madrigal. We got real. This
Yeah,
gets
it's great
real.
talking to you. I'll see you, buddy.
Sweaty palms. Sean Conroy stepping up to the dish to face Stephen Brody Stevens. And I lose fans. I lost a follower today on Twitter. Al Madrigal right there.
Brody, you're a good guy.
Al, you're not upset, are you? No, of course not. Never. This is good. This is good real. Oh, no. The meeting. Here comes the meeting. They're going to pull the plug on this. This is how it goes. Sean Conroy stepping up.
Yes.
So what did you think about that when I mentioned – I'm talking sports.
Yeah, I know. I love sports.
You're a Knicks fan.
I am. It's been difficult for the last 25 years.
What do you think about all the changes? Phil Jackson's gone.
I'm glad Phil Jackson is gone. He was terrible for the team.
He was, right?
Yeah.
Why'd they he was like almost
Because you think he's this amazing, he's the guru, right?
He was.
Yeah.
but he's a little, he's almost 70, little
Right.
out of touch. Did all this with the Bulls and the Lakers.
And he wasn't coaching the team. He was the GM, which was not how he did it at the Bulls and the Lakers.
And he wasn't even there
Right.
half the time.
Right.
He was like in Montana or even LA, and then he would
He was
like
meditating. I'm glad he's gone.
he took the bus. Didn't they catch him sleeping on the bus?
No.
They did.
Really?
Yeah, Sean, all I do is follow sports.
Yeah.
Phil Jackson was sleeping on a bus. Now, I know people got upset with me with what I said. At least I was being honest. Now, what did you think about the LeBron James thing? You're a big basketball guy.
I am a big basketball guy, and I think he said what he had to say, and that's okay.
Do you think he could do some, like, he has a platform for positivity, a chance to do some. What's
which
the
I think he's using
Yeah. He's using the platform.
for positivity.
Positivity through negativity.
Well,
gotta
not
take
in
one
that,
step back
not
to
in
take two
relation
steps
to that.
forward.
He's doing other things in the community that are
Giving
positive.
computers to kids?
Whatever it may be.
Not into it. But I'm just being honest.
So am I.
That's what.
So am I, Brody.
Sean Conroy, I've known you for 20 years.
Yes.
Stand up in New York.
Yes.
People don't realize that when I say I lived in New York, they're shocked. Oh, you're a Valley guy.
You were there for a while.
I lived in New York for 3 years. I felt like if you live in New York for 3 years, you're considered a New Yorker. Would
First
you
time
say
I
that?
ever met you, you were working at the door at the Comedy Cellar.
Yeah, people don't realize that.
You were
Stephen
there.
Brody Stevens worked at the
Integral
Comedy Cellar.
part of the city. Yeah.
Because Greenwich Village. Like if you're out there barking, because I barked at the Comedy Cellar, I wasn't performing there. I had hopes of performing. The last barker did perform was Louis Schaefer. So the guy who was working there, he said, Brody, I think you can get on stage
If you bark.
if you bark there, kind of thing. Yeah, because he goes, Manny, the owner, he wants me to perform on stage, and he goes, I'm not ready, but I think you are. I think if you go down there, you can get a job and get past.
Did that work out?
No, because I was intimidated by Esty, the owner, or she ran the Comedy Cellar, and I just didn't have the confidence to like ask for a showcase or.
Right. You seem like a guy who lacks confidence.
Well, I do. Wait, Sean. I do. When I go into Starbucks, I'm very quiet. But I was intimidated.
Say your name again, sir, please. I didn't hear you.
Stephen.
Okay.
I put Stephen on my thing. But I was intimidated. And the other thing is that all the comedians, that was almost their first impression of me in New York. They're seeing me barking.
Right.
So when I actually moved out to Los Angeles, say like 2 years after that, they would see me and go, oh, I didn't know you did stand up.
Yeah.
So
it's hard to bridge that gap between the guy who's barking and the guy who actually does stand up.
Yeah, I mean, that's their first impression.
Right.
Same thing with like audience warm up. They see you doing warm up, and then they're surprised. Oh, you do stand up also? Yeah, I do.
Isn't
stand-up.
warm up kind of stand up though?
There's elements of it. I mean, for warm up, the elements of stand up are crowd work,
Right.
and then probably jokes when need be. Like there's definitely down.
So crowd work and jokes for audience warm up, but it's different from doing stand up.
Yes, because they have to laugh. It's more rhythm. When I do say, I did Chelsea or did At Midnight, it's all rhythm. See how? It's all rhythm. Laugh, push, laugh, break, push, push, push. So I'm like constantly doing that. Laugh. See, I'm like, I orchestrate the audience.
You're the conductor.
Yeah, kind of. Whereas when you're doing stand-up, you're the leader, but I'm not conducting them,
You're not forcing anybody to do anything.
Exactly. Whereas, like, when you're doing warm-up, I'm almost like forcing them with energy. That's my
Now you
job.
look like a magician.
Well, I do the hand stuff. I mean, you could actually, like, throw it on you. Throw that energy.
I feel that
And I would
5
say...
servings of greens just hit me in the face.
That's the biggest laugh of the show. But... people joke about this energy, and I wouldn't say it if I didn't see results. Like, why am I in The Hangover? I never thought I'd be in a movie, but they put me in. Why am I on Google Street Maps?
You never thought you'd be in Google Street Maps.
Never thought I would be.
But
Why
they
do
put
I
you in.
have a major league? Why do I have a baseball card? Never thought I would.
But you do.
Yeah, and like I know Al mentioned something about like you do these things and it, you want to get gets the laughs. But I also feel like, John Wooden would say, it's not about winning, it's the preparation. It's it's the jokes, the preparation.
Well, that was
winning will be a result of that.
That was in his pyramid of comedy.
That's funny.
Thank you.
John Wooden, the pyramid of success. So it's like, it goes all the way down from like how you tie your shoes.
I try
how
to go
you
for
wear your-
obscure references for the most part.
Well, I get them. But it's how you tie your shoes, how you sit, how you wear your hat, how do you present yourself, all those things, and the discipline. And then the result would be winning. Now, where did I learn that? John Wooden. Where did he live? In my neighborhood. I learned that from that. Joe Torre. I worked at Joe Torre baseball camp. So, but if these things, I wouldn't be a proponent of them if it met with like a lot of
Resistance.
I do get little resistance, but I've seen enough like where enough people that I know have, benefited. They've told me. Same thing with the warm-up. Like I get the guys, they come in and they'll say, Brody, it makes a difference when you're there because you connect the crowd with me. And I've done enough of these stand-up shows where they have the fake audiences in there, and you're up there doing your stand-up, and they're not connected because they're paid. So they're there to act like they're happy. Then if they're your VIP friends, they're kind of weird. So my goal as a warm-up was always to, especially when there were stand-ups on the show, to have that audience find the funny, don't fake it, be real, but also be a little extra supportive knowing that these guys are on TV. And then
Do you give out candy when you're doing warm-up?
Only if it's like over 90 minutes to 2 hours.
Do you have the audience compete in like
Never
Gilligan's
do.
Island singing
I don't
contests
do that.
and stuff
Never
like that?
do that. I would feel like at midnight, for example, 45-minute taping. If you can't be away from candy for 45 minutes, or I have to give you candy to laugh at guys who are, you'd pay funny or $20 to $30 to see it. So I got to give you candy. I don't play that game.
Mm-hmm.
So, but 2 hours, I would do candy. Never do the sing-alongs.
Because I've been in a lot of sitcom tapings where that's what it's all about. It's like, let's have
those
the
are
audience
different.
compete for this and then do this. And
Well, I've done that for certain kind of shows, but like, let's say Chelsea Lately and At Midnight. Those are like panel shows, and the laughs are, rhythm.
Mm-hmm.
No candy, different from a sitcom.
And those are also limited time. Like, you're going to be done in 45 minutes or an hour at those shows.
Yeah, whereas a sitcom taping can go, 4, 7, 8 hours. And I don't do them because you're under so much. They're not used to it. When I did At Midnight or Chelsea, she gave me so much freedom to kind of like push and do all this. Whereas a sitcom, they wouldn't do that. And I feel like, look at the success of Chelsea Lately at that time and all the comedians from that show who've gone on to do stuff. And they would come up to me and they go, Brody, it makes a difference when you're here. So that's what kind of just enforces like, okay, I'm on the right thing. And it was just about, that's where the positive energy comes from. You can't walk into a TV taping being negative. This frickin' sucks. This crowd's, I had a terrible day. And that was another reason why maybe
as the warm-up comic can't do that.
Correct.
Because I walk into tapings like that all the time.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I have to come in happy. Same thing with like when I was doing every day, having to be at that studio at, say, 2 o'clock every day. It takes you out of auditioning. Al and I were talking earlier about how warm-up might affect your stand-up. Not only does it affect your stand-up in terms of like how you feel, but also, you can't be late. You could be late to a stand-up. I'm running late. TV won't wait. You have to be there.
So did you have to audition for The Hangover?
I did, actually.
And how did you do that with your schedule of warm-up comedy?
I might have had an off day. I might have gone and... I would make an example. I mean, I would make...
You would make an example out of that audition?
Yes. No, I would make... what's the word?
Exceptions.
Exceptions. Thank you, Eric. Exceptions. Because let's say if you have an audition in LA and you live in the Valley, maybe you got one in Santa Monica, one downtown, one in Hollywood. I got to get to the West Side.
That's a good day.
At 2 o'clock. Yeah, but now you're stressed going to your gig.
You have to get to your job on time.
Where they also put you on the show. So I would be on the show too. So I felt like I had to do that, but the sacrifice was the auditioning.
Did they tell you the show was better when you were on it, or
Yes.
no? They did.
Oh, when I was on it, or when I did the
when you were
warm-up?
on it. Now I know when you were warming them up, they were like you make a
No,
difference.
I'll tell you why. It wasn't as good because I wasn't doing warm-up for myself.
Oh, so it was like a catch-22. If you were on the show, the audience wasn't as good. If you were doing the audience, you couldn't be on the show.
There's truth to that, yes. There was times, first few times, I would do the warm up the crowd, first segment, and I go, guys, stay right there. I'm going to go on the show. So now I'm on the show, and they don't have it. Like the laughs wouldn't be there as much.
If you had not said stay right there, do you think the audience would have left when you left?
They would have left me mentally. I said, stay right there with me. Stay connected with me. So when I did that the first few times with me not doing the warm-up, it made a difference. Not good. And then they started bringing in a warm-up when I would be on, and because the warm-up guy, he wasn't there all the time like me, even that wasn't good. So the bottom line is, yeah, I'm a good warm-up, and it makes a difference. But,
Hey, Brody.
yeah.
We got about 15 minutes left, and as a big fan of the long shot myself, and Brody being a baseball guy, Sean, you've made some shocking and disparaging comments about the sport.
About baseball, yes.
I would like you to hash that out with Brody for a second.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, there's a rumor going around. Go ahead, Sean, that you mentioned.
Well, I just have a joke in my stand-up where I say I watched a baseball game the other day.
Oh, that's
and
cool.
4 interesting things in 3 hours. 4 interesting. I can't do my act off stage, but anyway, in 3 hours, 4 interesting things happened, and 3 of them were me getting a beer. Like, I find baseball so relentlessly boring.
On TV or going to it?
Going to it is fine because you don't have to pay attention to the game. You're with people you like. You're hanging out. You're outside. It's like going to a park but paying more. You know.
But going to the okay, so watching on TV, you don't watch everything on TV.
No.
Okay, either do I. But I have baseball on in the background. I know what's going on.
See, people always say that, but I can't do that. My brain doesn't work that way. Like, I can't focus on 2 different things at the same time. Like, I can't have something and then be doing something else because I'm like, what's going on over here? Oh, I should be doing this. So I turn off.
See,
The baseball game I was not watching.
See, I feel like the Dodgers in Los Angeles, it's more than it's like the weather. It's like the weather. It's part of the news. I like to know what's going on with current events. I know that, not saying I have to watch every inning or not know, but I like I said, I like to know, have in the background. But I feel like baseball provides structure. It provides inspiration. You know, it's about failure. It's dealing with, you fail.
But isn't that any sport? Like, couldn't you do that with a more exciting sport like football or basketball or hockey or curling?
So football, I guess, is exciting. The hitting, I suppose. But people are down on football because of all the penalties and all the rules.
Some people are down on it.
And if you watch, now they say football, you go to a football game, it's not fun because the television timeouts. And
It takes a long time, but I find going to a football game more fun than going to a baseball game.
Oh, now you're doing that too. Why is a football game more fun than a baseball game?
Because when the action on the field is actually happening, there's stuff going on, and you get to see what's happening. Whereas baseball is like a bunch of dudes standing around waiting for something to happen.
See, I don't think so. What about a foul ball? You ever catch a foul ball at a game?
Never caught a foul
Are you
ball.
ever in an area where a foul ball might come?
Yes.
Is that exciting?
I mean, if I had caught a foul ball, that would have changed my whole outlook on sports.
I'll tell you what, I've caught 3 foul balls, and I've been to hundreds of games. I'm always excited about that ball coming to me. And when a ball hits in the crowd, they're buzzing. There's 20 people buzzing.
Who
What
thought they
happened?
were so close?
Yeah. There's something about catching the ball. And then football, you don't catch a ball. Basketball, you don't catch a ball. There's no, and even in batting practice, guys are it's something about catching that ball.
So what you're saying basically, though,
I like
is,
foul balls.
But also it's that in that moment, in that boring game, you have a moment where you get to be part of the game. That's what makes that moment exciting.
Yeah, I mean, I like the sounds of the game too. I like the foul
The crack of the bat.
I like the crack of the bat. I like the buzz of the crowd. I like the culture of baseball, but I have a different,
you also played baseball.
Exactly. I played. So
that
it is
makes
in me.
Yeah, that makes a difference.
But I liked, for me, pitching, in terms of playing, as a pitcher, and then see a guy hitting, like, it's one-on-one. It's like you're gonna step in and, like, there are those moments where you got a pitcher throwing 100 miles an hour and then a hitter trying to hit. That's pretty intense.
Right.
You're
I
not
don't
into
disagree. No, but it doesn't do anything for me, And you got those other 7 guys just like, all right, can we just have something happen? Come on.
Now, what about basketball? You think it's exciting to watch a free throw, make or miss? That's exciting?
Okay, so you're
The
cherry
actual
you're
free throw.
cherry picking free throws
Yeah.
out of the entire game
Yes.
as one thing. Okay,
Yes.
because there's a lot more to the game than free throws. And yes,
There's
I
passing.
do find free throws exciting because I was never good at them and I like watching people do it well.
So free throws are kind of like...
I almost failed 7th grade because I couldn't shoot free throws.
You know what's this is what's boring about basketball. Free throws and then all these little timeouts at the end. To watch the end of the game, the most exciting part of the NBA basketball game.
I don't disagree. I think they could do things to clean
Bingo.
up that last couple minutes.
Got it.
But there's 46 minutes before that's thrilling.
What do you think about all these players, the player movement? Like, nobody knows who these guys are as much. There's so many.
What are you talking about?
What I'm saying is there's a
I
lot
think
of
he means free agency.
free agents. Thank you, Aaron. Free
You're
agency. Not
Yeah,
saying that hasn't
look,
affected baseball, but it's, I think, more prevalent in basketball.
Well, here's what's interesting about that to me, and it might not be interesting to anybody else, but I feel like when I was a kid, there were teams that I rooted for. I was a Giants fan, a Knicks fan, a Yankees fan, and a
Rangers.
Islander fan.
Islander.
But that was only because everybody I went to school with was a Ranger fan, and I wanted to fuck with them. And that was when the Islanders were winning all the Stanley Cups. But now I have a bunch of nephews who are huge basketball fans, huge football fans, but they're fans of players, not of teams. So they follow certain players no matter what team they go to. Is that better? Is it worse?
I think
don't
that's
know.
worse. I think that's
Why is that worse?
I think it's worse because it's individual. I remember the Showtime Lakers. I remember the Bulls winning. The Spurs are winning. Warriors are winning. Those are good teams also. But there's so many superstars on one team. Like I just feel like I like the Showtime Lakers. I like the
Team
aspect. Same thing with like fantasy. You're cheering for a rival to do well, but I want
individual
my team to win.
players, yeah.
So NBA basketball, like one player could dominate a game. So I don't know. I'm just more. I was always Showtime Lakers. Clippers never into. I tried to like the Clippers. The Clippers don't win. You know why? Because the people like the Clippers aren't from Los Angeles. They're bringing their own energy in. L.A. Lakers, even though they came from Minneapolis back in the day,
They're part
like
of the
real.
culture. They're part of the culture.
They're part of the
now.
culture inbred. I feel
But
like
that's because they won so much in the 80s, and L.A. is such a bandwagon city that everybody all of a sudden loved the Lakers.
Well, they were good in the 70s, too. Then they went down, and then Magic came back. But the Clippers haven't done anything other than, a couple playoff victories. And I think they don't win because the people that come to L.A. are magnets for show business. They're magnets for action. Doesn't win basketball games.
No, but action wins baseball games.
Action wins baseball games. I really do feel like a city's energy affects the sports teams. You look at the Seattle Mariners. They don't win. Mm-hmm. What's Seattle known for? Anger, clouds, negativity.
And the Seahawks. Look at the Seahawks. They don't. Oh, wait.
Well, they won,
Yeah.
but in my mind, they won. All those guys are on pills, speed up pills. That AstroTurf. It was just like they won by sheer pushing. I don't think they won by.
That's how football works.
Well,
You got to
then
push the other guy out of the way.
I don't feel that. I just feel like football, the Seahawks winning, it was just a perfect magical moment for them to get that. So I'm not going to hate.
So they
on
did it despite the energy of the city.
I'm going to say Seattle's Seahawks tapped into the negative energy of Seattle. So they won the Super Bowl, but then next year, because they were negative, they were punished. It's the way I look at it. You look at the Yankees. What's the capital of the world? What city? New York.
Madrid. Oh, sorry.
New York City. Those Yankee fans, they're into it. New York cares. They have passion. Why do the Yankees have 27 or 28 or 29 World Series championships? That's
40
not,
American League championships.
It's not a fluke.
I would have been excited if the Yankees had beat the Astros in the playoffs. I would have been excited about that World Series.
There you go.
That would have changed my outlook. But that's because it would have connected me back to when I was a kid and I didn't know any better and I loved baseball because that was the first sport.
So you did when you were innocent.
When I was
and
little
pure.
and didn't know any better. Yes. My grandfather was a big Yankee fan, so he took me to Yankee Stadium. When I was like 4 years old, I started going to Yankee games.
So it's in you.
And the only World Series game I ever went to was Dodgers-Yankees.
Oh, man, that would have been great.
1978. It was the game where Reggie Jackson stuck his hip out and knocked the ball into the outfield.
I
Thurman
remember
Munson
it.
Scored.
You were there.
I was there.
That's an iconic,
So that would have been fun if the Yankees and the Dodgers played in the World Series,
would have
and I
been.
would have watched it. But other than that, who cares?
So we were talking. Yeah, I just think again, it's coming back to the positive energy. You look at San Diego, Padres. They don't win. Why?
Chicken.
San Diego chicken. Because they're happy in San Diego, and you've got people from all over the country in San Diego. So there's no real feel. Same thing with Arizona somewhat, with the Diamondbacks a little bit. Nobody's from here.
What about the Brewers, Brody?
Milwaukee Brewers? They've been there. They have a solid fan base. The Brewers are always competitive. They care. There's a long history of baseball in Milwaukee. Cub fans, here's the thing with the Cub fans. They're happy. Chicago is known for improv. We're happy. We're smiling. They don't want any kind of crazy drama. So the Cubs.
So you think the Cubs' success is related to the improv scene in Chicago?
Their lack of success.
Oh, their lack of success.
The reason why
But I mean, success or not success is related to the fact. So if they took the improv out of Chicago,
yes,
the Cubs would be better.
Well, the fans would demand it. The fans.
They would be like, I can't go see an improv show. I better have a good baseball team.
Well,
is that an oversimplification?
oh, somewhat. What I'm getting at is Chicago's happy. Second city, oh, yeah. That doesn't win baseball games. You need fans who get pissed, get supportive. I went to the World Series last year in Chicago. I went to the World Series games with the Yankee Stadiums. I've been there. When the Cubs they're excited, and the minute they were down, their fans got scared. Babies. Yankees, they're up the whole time. We push. Now the Cubs.
Yeah, but the Yankees have won 27 World Championships.
Okay.
The Cubs have the Bartman game to go back to.
Got to get over it. I mean, Red Sox got over it. They pushed through. Now they've won 3. I mean, they're passionate, maybe too passionate.
By the way, have you ever been to a show at Second City in Chicago? Because you basically summed up their shows as
they're
we're
happy.
Yeah,
Aren't they
yeah.
happy?
There's a lot more complicated stuff that goes on in those shows. You're very devoted to baseball.
I've done
I'm
a lot of
very
stand-up. I've done a lot
devoted
of
to
stand-up in
improv.
Chicago. Would you say the Midwest is a happier place than the coasts?
I have not lived there, so I don't know. I couldn't say.
That's my theory from being at Cub games for the last 5 years, being at Dodger games, being at Yankee Stadium. Cubs, it's friendly, it's happy. Players feed off that. Now you get a winning culture, and you get guys in there who are like pushing it through, changing the demeanor of the players. The fans pick up on that, and they win. Cubs got the 3 years in a row the championship series.
The NCAA championship.
But one of the coaches, they're like, my friend's a big time coach, and he's from the Valley.
Right, I have
it's
friends
certain,
too.
it's blue collar, tough nosed. We're not here to party. We're here to win games. And he's a winner. He won with the Yankees.
How tough is his nose?
It's very tough.
Mm-hmm.
But when it was with the Yankees, he was there for 12 years. The Yankees, you were expected to win. If you didn't win 2 out of 3 games in a regular season series, it was panic. George Steinbrenner, as much as he was like hated and a tough guy, guys were on their toes. And it was expected to win. The Cubs they're starting to expect to win, but that's how you have to think. And I felt like
They didn't have that winning culture.
there you go. But the fans need to adapt that and take their scaredness and go, let's go and push. Like, I think the Astro fans, they're into it. Even Dodger fans are into it. Dodger fans are pretty passionate. Would you disagree or would you agree?
I would say any fan base that's in a championship series is going to be pretty passionate. You don't
I
see
disagree.
A lot of, you
I went
don't
to
see
the-
a lot of people kicking back going, yeah, who cares?
I went to the
Whatever
World
happened.
Series game last year.
And people were like,
Yes. Once they were down, they were like out.
I guess
People
I
make
didn't
fun
see
of-
those people on TV.
But people were on Twitter this year with the Cub fans losing to the Giants. They say, or to the Dodgers, and they go, look at all these Cub fans leaving early. I'm not ripping Cub fans. I'm saying, like, I disagree with you.
Do you
No,
have
good.
gifts for people? Is that what's going on?
Do you know baseball?
I mean, I did a long time
Do you
ago.
follow it now?
No,
Not at all.
no.
Could you name a player on the Mets right now?
Rusty Staub.
He's not on there anymore. I want you
Tom Seaver.
I want you to pick a card randomly
Okay.
and see if I can guess it. This is what we call the baseball card game. This is what sets this podcast apart.
This game sets
from
this
the other
podcast apart. This is what it does. All right, so I'm picking a card.
We have 5. Pick a card. Let me see if I can see who it is.
But-
And I apologize if I offended anybody. We might have to do some edits on this podcast. No? Not even with the... Okay. What's your name? Victor's here. Matt. Andy. Charlotte. Alex. We got 4 fans on a Saturday morning. That's devotion.
That's 2 more.
This is...
Oh,
this
2
is
more in
not
the
a-
back. But are you fans also? Or you work here? We have. What's your name? Brian. Where are you from? Where'd you go to high school? Lake Michigan. Kalamazoo. Heard it. That's where Derek Jeter's from. That's where General Mills is from. Got it. Andy, where'd you go to high school?
Providence High School.
Providence in Burbank.
New
Where's that? Illinois. Heard of it. Talking about the Cubs. There is a Providence High School in Burbank. Victor, where are you from? Arizona. I believe it. Could you give me a city? Phoenix. Heard of it. Can you give me a street? Van Buren. Heard of it. That's where they filmed the Morrissey video. You know that Morrissey video? There's a Morrissey song, and he's driving down Van Buren. Look it up. I forget the song. I'm right. What high school was on Van Buren?
This is
Phoenix.
why you're on Google Maps, by the way.
I am on Google Maps.
Yeah.
I'll show you guys Google Street View. My grandmother went to Phoenix Union High School. It's not there anymore. I think it was on Van Buren. You're a good guy, Victor. What's the guy name behind you? Matt? Alex. Where you got a good voice. You do radio locally?
No, I don't. I don't live here. I live in Vegas.
Oh, you live here in Vegas. Let me. Were you staying at the Mandalay Bay? I want to have some information on you. What floor? Where'd you go to high school? Waterville. We got like a lot of interesting crowd here. Maine. That's like near Kennebunkport, near where the Bushes would hang out.
It's inland, brother.
Near
Same
Augusta.
state, though. Same state.
A half hour from Augusta.
Heard of it. University of Maine, the Black Bears, correct?
That's Torre now, yeah.
Okay. And what brought you out to Vegas? You work at a casino, you do security?
No, I'm a comic.
Oh, you are?
Yeah, I'm just out here supporting though. I'm not on the show.
Oh, you have a demo tape? I'll help you out.
You're staring at the pajama pants. I know. I didn't pack my jeans.
I mean, you're wearing pajama pants and are you
And
are
a
you doing,
blazer. Pajama pants and a blazer.
Are you doing clown work?
This is not the typical outfit.
And then Andy, your lady friend, what's your name again? Charlotte. That's a beautiful name. I read a book, Charlotte's Web. And my favorite band is Good Charlotte. And I have a show next week in Charlotte, North Carolina. There's so many connections.
The Charlotte trifecta.
There you go, Charlotte. And where did you grow up, Charlotte? Heard of it, been there, Lincoln, Omaha, won $500 at a riverboat casino. What city?
A small town called Auburn.
Yep, Auburn. That's a good college.
How small?
They have like 40,000 in
3,500?
Yeah.
I dated a girl who grew up in a Nebraska town of 200 people.
Yeah.
There's some small towns there.
200 people, wow. And then how did you guys meet? On Farmers Only? Which college?
Peru State College.
Purdue State?
Peru.
Oh, is that down in South America?
Lima.
South Nebraska.
Heard of it. Look at Victor having a great time. Now, what brought you look familiar. Were you here the other day? Yes. Are you a big podcast fan? You like you do comedy also? You're a good guy. Why what do you how do you stay so positive, Victor? We got to wrap it up. What's that? Victor stays positive through me. He said that. Sean, pick out a card. Let me wrap this
No,
thing
I
up.
picked one already.
Okay. Give me some.
Or did you want me to pick it from the deck that you cut and gave me a special part of?
Pick a card, any card. Let me see if I can finish.
You want me to
one.
pick another one?
Sure.
Okay. Got it.
See if I can name them.
Got it.
This is the game sweeping the nation.
All right. So what do I have to do, Brody? Are you just going to guess? I'm going to
Find
hold it
out
behind my back.
what's his religion, what's his VIN number.
Maybe give us a team and position.
Yeah,
or-
Aaron's good at it. He's the
Okay.
commissioner. Of
So
this game.
he is on the fucking Mariners.
Oh, they're lazy.
Negative, and he's a pitcher.
What years does it say? What year? Because these are traditional cards.
I don't know. Let's see. Boy, the print is very small on this.
Here, let me see. Is he right-handed? Victor, do you know baseball? Get Victor, get up on the mic with Sean. Help
Here.
me out here, and then we'll wrap this thing up. Don't knock over the monitor. Talk in the mic, Victor.
91 played for the Mariners, 90 Mariners, 90 Giants, 89 Giants.
So Mariners and Giants.
Pitcher.
Pitcher.
I can't read any of that, by the way.
Born in Fremont,
This
California.
kid's got some eyes on him.
Home is Kennewick, Washington.
Bobby Ayala.
No, sir.
Religion is Wiccan.
Mariners and Giants.
Entered pro ball at Everett in 86.
Aaron. That's a tough. Is he an all-star?
No. He and his wife are parents of a daughter.
Oh, okay, I know who that is.
Both him and his wife are parents of a daughter.
Is he right-handed or left?
He is left.
Jamie Moyer.
No.
That's a good guess.
6'4", 210.
Left-handed.
Gemini.
Was
Drafted by the Giants in 86.
I should know this. I don't.
Yeah, it's not Kirk Reeder.
Nope.
Yeah, he was later.
Can we give hints? Do you
Give a
wanna
first name. Well, first letter of the name.
R.
It's not Randy Johnson.
No, sir.
No.
Last name?
Yeah, first letter of the last name.
S.
Interrupt this up.
S. Okay, yeah. S.
RS.
R.S. Oh, Russ Springer.
Almost.
But no.
First name's right.
Oh, Russ.
D. Staub.
Call back. Russ. He's a pitcher.
Pitcher. Russ S.
Last name is a type
You know
type
what?
of bird. Type of bird.
S.
Russ.
Bird. Sparrow.
Well, give me pick another. What's the guy's name?
Swallow.
Russ Swan.
I would never get. I wouldn't get that.
Yeah, that's
Do one more. Let's pick another one. We'll wrap this thing up. Victor, everybody, welcome to the podcasting world of Victor.
Yes.
We had some ups and downs today.
86 Indians.
Yep.
Catcher.
Andy. Oh, I saw that one. Andy Allison.
Yes.
Get that out of there.
Ooh, okay, here we go. This is
My back is turned.
Yeah, that feels uncomfortable, Brody.
He plays for the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Okay.
Team here. He's from Houston, Texas.
Ooh, they're in the World Series.
Yes, 6'2", 200. Drafted by the White Sox.
What year is
He's
this?
an outfielder. What year did he get drafted, or?
Yeah.
Or what year is this? This is 2017.
It
Is that what
was
you're asking?
06 Diamondbacks, 07 Diamondbacks, 08 Diamondbacks.
It's a
He's
tough
an outfielder.
You know what it is? Yeah. Well, who is it?
Woohoo!
How'd you know that?
Yes. We're Diamondbacks.
Oh, this guy's good. Wow, I need that is really good. Your name's Matt? How did you know that? Let's do one more.
So far, the people here to see the podcast are better than you at this game.
Well, these are tough players.
Chris Young currently on the Yankees?
He was this year, I think.
Yes, he was.
That was good, Brian. Give me one more.
Pitcher,
Yep.
White Sox. 86 White Sox, 87 White Sox, 88 White Sox.
Bobby Thigpen.
Nice.
Nailed it. That's how you play the game, folks.
Yeah, we'll
That's how
I think you
play
got
the
to go out
baseball
on
card
top,
game.
Brody.
Yeah, let's go down that.
Okay, we're going to go out on. That was pretty impressive by me. See?
Yeah, you were 1 for 5. That's a 200 batting average.
Yeah, but you know what? That's what baseball's all
It's a hard
about.
game.
Sean Conroy,
Keep swinging.
thank you. You want
Thank you.
You have any thing you want to?
Yeah, Long Shot Podcast today at 6 in this same space. And then I'm going on tour. I'm going on tour all over the country for the next 2.5 months. So,
Are you serious?
yeah.
With who?
with
UCB
who?
or
With
yourself?
who? Fuck you, Brody.
No, like is it a? No, like I want to join in.
Yes. It's me. The tour is called the World's Smallest Giant Tour. That's me. And you can find out details at worldsmallestgiant.com.
Is that on World Star Hip Hop?
Nope.
No laughs on
Let's
that.
try.
I want to hear more about that tour because I want to
Okay.
go. Victor, what do you want to plug?
Arizona Diamondbacks. I'm a baseball fan, so I just Diamondbacks.
And your positive energy too.
Yes, positive energy.
That's what drew him here.
Yes.
He was the magnet of positivity. So that's Victor. Aaron, our producer, does a great job. He helped me out today. He said, "Get the
Give it up for
baseball
Aaron.
cards."
Thank you.
I went to CVS. I bought all these cards, and Aaron's been supportive, and I'm doing a better job. And Rachel and Oscar and Al. I know Al. I bit the hand that fed me today. This could be the last podcast. But I didn't eat yet, so I get a little emotional. So let me read this. This is what I'm supposed to ring at the top of the podcast. We're 3, 2, 1. We're recording live from the ATC Pop-Up Podcast Studio in downtown Phoenix at the All Things Comedy Festival, presented by Bud Light, Cityscape, and Tito's Handmade Vodka. Should do that again, but I won't. End of podcast. So I would like to say thanks for checking this out. I'm going to be cranking these podcasts out. The title and the theme will be flashed. If you remember, Seinfeld started out as Seinfeld Chronicles. You know, Blink 182 started out as...
Blink 183.
Did they really?
No, they were Wink 184.
Is that a C. Thomas Howell movie? And he was in Turk 184. So
182.
you could follow me. I'm on Instagram.
Are you?
Oh, yeah, I just signed up. I'm on Twitter. Brody is me friend, based off Tony and Mr. Lee, my busboys in New York City. Brody, you good guy. You, me friend. So it's an homage.
I never knew the history of that. Thank you.
There you go. He's a New York guy. So thank you very much, everybody. I had a great time. I'll tell you what, this All Things Comedy Festival, I hope it becomes an annual event. I think Arizona is an awesome place to be. Wouldn't mind if we go on a traveling festival.
Yeah.
We'll take all the dates you got. You set the
Right.
route.
Then I can have somebody with me so the tour actually makes sense.
Oh, there we go again.
Yeah.
So, ladies and
I
gentlemen,
won't forget, Brody.
he will not forget. Sean Conroy, a good friend, better than a good friend. Dare I say, a very good friend. And we went to Jinkies one day in the early 2000s, and I still have the photos.
I'm so glad. Put them up on Instagram.
I will. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. You got it. Yes, Brody Stevens, All Things Comedy, signing off.
Good guy, Brody.
Push.